which is now.
That's
Let me.
What are you talking about? Today?
Well, I once got talked into watching Battleship, the movie, and I feel like you feel a similar sense of emotional / intellectual rape.
You know what's interesting? I've heard you mention Battleship a number of times. And
Yeah.
so that's your whatever. That's your Waterloo.
That is my Waterloo. It's the movie that, first off, was dreadful and horrible.
When did Battleship come out?
Oh, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that.
All right.
And it's the movie also where when you complain about it, you get no love and sympathy for it. People are like, yeah, no shit, that was going to be a bad movie.
Honestly, Tom, I only know of Battleship from you. I've
Yeah.
never even heard of it outside of your ranting about it.
It's a movie based on the video game, on the board game Battleship.
Oh, you suck my Battleship?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, you brought this up because you said a certain sense of kinship with me.
Relative to your experience watching the latest Justice League movie.
Is Justice League, that's a series of movies, not Justice League itself.
This is the DC universe, and the Justice League is the latest offshoot of this one. It started with Batman Returns. Well, no, actually, the original does. The Batman movies are sort of, they're in universe, but they're different canon. So
Okay, wait. All of those movies are individual characters. This is the first time, isn't it, that there's been a gathering of them all.
They were making this happen. In Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, they were setting it up for this. So these characters appeared like in video clips caught on mall security cameras.
I just so don't respect you for knowing any of this, but so I remember when I was a kid, Ted Knight, like, meanwhile at the Hall of Justice, and it would have like the Wonder Twins, and it would have the Cherokee Chief and all that stuff, and I enjoyed that. Is that what this is? A minor version of that?
This is a more sort of modern take. The Justice League has always been DC's answer to the Marvel's The Avengers.
To Marvel's The Avengers. Okay.
Right.
And The Avengers is... What the hell's The Avengers again?
The Marvel... Oh my God.
Just
How did you get to...
Keep it brief.
Okay. It's like the super group of Marvel heroes. Okay. So it's like the damn Yankees of Marvel heroes. You just... all the best of the Marvel heroes, and so the same thing is Justice League.
Okay.
So it's got all their A-list superheroes.
And this one, by the way, I'm giving nothing away, and I couldn't give less of a shit if I did give something away, because they end by saying there are others. So obviously they're going to make another movie, another Justice League movie that brings in additions.
Right. And
okay.
This is all, but DC and Marvel are at war.
Yeah.
Marvel is beating the living piss out of DC.
Marvel is in the movie industry.
In the movie industry, for sure.
And this is DC.
This is DC that we're talking about.
Okay.
DC has yet to be able to string together a decent, put together a really decent movie, frankly.
I'm assuming Marvel hasn't either. Well, I don't know. Now, here are the movies I've seen. That, going beyond, because in my mind, so it's like, of course you have like Christopher Reeves, Superman, that's stuff I saw when I was younger, but like, I'm talking the last 2 decades, let's say.
Sure.
Like I saw the Thor, not the recent Thor, 2017, but one in 2012. Mm-hmm. I've seen Iron Man,
right?
One of them, and I've seen Superman versus Batman. Last year, I took Max.
Right.
So those are the ones I've seen. So that's okay.
Well, you've seen Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool seems like a whole different thing to me.
Well, it is kind of its own thing. Same thing with the X-Men universe, and that's a really complicated story.
Deadpool seems to me like it's actually a well-written film, and it's funny, and that Deadpool, the character, was just an excuse, like a vehicle for good writing.
Well, I don't know about that. Because the Deadpool in the movie is very similar to the Deadpool in the comic books. What makes him interesting and unusual is that he is the meta character. He's the character who breaks the fourth wall all the time, who is deliberately and specifically, basically comedy at this point.
Yeah.
He's very much the comic relief, and that makes him different from the rest of sort of the Marvel universe. Now, the fact I think Deadpool I'm not sure who has the rights on Deadpool, and that gets to be a mess from Dr. Marvel. Just the fact that you were like, just constitutionally, comic book movies are just not your thing at all.
No, I tell you why. Well, I can answer that simply. I'm an adult. I'm an adult. And so it's the same reason I don't like ride a scooter around campus or...
campus.
Yeah. And it's not nerdy stuff because I love classic films and I did it as a kid, so it's not like I'm anti-nerd or any of those things. It's just, it's inherently garbage. It's just like, first of all, every story has to have the same thing built into it. It's like, the origin story. Go fuck your mother, the origin story. That could be an origin story, by the way. It's just like, it's so lazy. And it's bad writing. And it's unapologetically lazy, bad writing. And it's like, I don't dig anything where it's like built into, whether it's music or anything, where it's built into it that trying is bad. I fucking hate you. Why is trying a bad thing?
I'm not following you on that one. Okay.
Well, it's sort of like, there's a whole sort of type of like music fanship that's a reaction against like Supertramp and like the overproduced stuff of the 70s, or like Yes. And I totally understand, like, the reaction against, like, really a 17-part song that's overlaid with 16 tracks. I get it.
Brian Wilson?
I totally understand, like, why people reject that. But, of course, the way they reject it is, like, we want musicians who don't know any chords, man. And it's like, oh, no, you idiot. And I think that the whole sort of, like, superhero movie, it's like, yeah, there's nothing to it. Anybody could write those scripts. Literally anyone who knows the human, like, English language could write one of those scripts, because you're given a set of, like, it has to have this, and then this. And the humor is terrible.
When you think about it, pretty much all superhero movie scripts are essentially fan fiction. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, to a certain extent, they have to bow down to fan fiction. The same, by the way, is completely true of the Star Wars movies as well. But you don't go to any of these for great movie making.
Yeah, but see, listen to yourself. That's the problem. When you say, like, the premise of something is that you don't go in for it to be good, why bother? Why bother if you know that that's not even an expectation?
Well, because I am sort of a fanboy. That's why I would go into. That's why I watch superhero.
But that makes it sound like it's more about you than about the art. It's more like you're like it's like Renaissance fair. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
I'm dressing up as this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you know anything about the history? No, but look, I'm wearing feathers.
I wish I had Hulk hands I can bring into a movie. You ever seen those things, big Hulk hands?
I've seen those, yeah.
It's
I
sweet.
think they're funny, but I mean, in real life they're funny, but yeah, that's the point. It's sort of like if you're saying from the beginning, like, well, no one goes into these for it to be good. Well, then why do you go into it? Why go into something you know is not going to be good? Like, what's the value in that? And that's what I have against these superhero movies. They're inherently not good. The premise is that they're not good.
But some of them are fun. How about that?
Well, I haven't seen one yet where I've sat there going, like, I'm really enjoying myself.
Well, you did with Deadpool.
With what now?
Deadpool.
Yeah, I did. That's true. I did with Deadpool. I don't know why that's different. I guess it was just like there was actual dialogue. There were jokes that had humor behind them.
Mm-hmm. There was a dark and fetid sexuality being expressed on screen.
You know what it is? I feel like audience members turn off a part of their brain, and this isn't my just saying they're stupid. It's like a part of their brain. It's like watching The Big Bang and laughing. It's like, but you know,
The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory. Sorry, It's like 30 seconds before the punchline exactly where this is going to end, because it's that hack. But if you go ha ha ha, it's like you're just like, well, you just want to be a Big Bang Theory fan,
right?
Well, that's the same thing here. So why enter into it? Because here's the part that bothers. In the end, if you make these superhero movies, who gives a shit? Like, I just don't go watch them. Who cares? Here's why. That means that's a certain amount of movies that won't get made.
I understand that objection. Yeah, I get that.
And they're really expensive. So that's like 10 really fucking interesting movies that won't get made, so that morons can fucking sit in the audience and watch something that is inherently stupid. And this isn't like men's movies, because I think there are great action adventure movies that are really highly imaginative, interesting, well acted. That's the other thing. The acting is horrible. And it's almost like it has to be horrible, because how could you deliver such bad lines without horrible acting?
Nah, I don't think it's that. I think what I really think it is? It's like the acting tends to be really bad in these movies.
Yeah.
Because the people who star in these movies have to spend like 8 hours a day in a fucking gym. That doesn't lend itself to the intellectual life.
I don't think they care about it. I think it's hard to put good acting behind something that's so bad to begin with. The writing, if you watch the Justice League, the writing, the Flash, the younger character, you want to fucking kill him. Mm-hmm. You just want to kill him as a person, and not even in an interesting way.
You wouldn't want to like put razor wire across the track or something? Just have him chop himself into half. That'd be cool.
I'm not even sure I want to follow you.
You put the piano wire across the track where he's running, and he runs through it and just cuts him in half.
You could write this. You should be on this.
I'm telling you, I should. Give me a job.
You would
give me a job, then I could buy at least 15 Joe S. curmudgeons to hang out.
It's not a curmudgeon issue, Tom. I'm a curmudgeon about a lot of things. It's just shit. It is shit, and it's the celebration of shit. And so that's what bothers me. I mean, it's not. If I were a curmudgeon, I would hate Beyonce, but I don't hate Beyonce. I love Beyonce, actually. I think she's great. I think she's a great musician. I think a lot of them are great musicians. And even when I don't like them, there's lots of things I don't like where I go, well, but at least I do know that it's interesting, or you could like that thing. This is just, it's narcissism at its height. It's because it's all about the people who go see it. And it's about them going into the theater and saying, this is what I like. And it's like, it doesn't matter. They turn off any awareness that it could be shit, because that'll ruin the ruse. It's like, I'm this person. I'm a Marvel person. It's like, go fuck yourself. What you like is awful. And you're exposing how awful you are by liking